Small businesses and family farmers in rural America depend on a reliable transportation system to move their goods. In an increasingly global economy, rural companies are just as likely to ship their products across the world as across the country. A key component in helping these businesses achieve success is access to an affordable rail system. Whether exporting wheat to Asia or shipping fertilizer to a small town in Indiana, rural communities have a critical stake in quality rail transportation. In many instances, it is the only option for sending and receiving goods. Today, we will hear from small businesses and their representatives who have been confronted with both rising rail transportation rates and declining service. The committee will examine how these problems is affecting entrepreneurs and discuss ways to address it. Most small businesses do not negotiate contracts with Union Pacific. However, they certainly experience the impact of rail rates, which have gone up by as much as 80% in the last 3 years. The rising cost of rail affects nearly all commercial activity in rural areas. Family farmers, in particular, are taking the biggest hit. The payments that wheat and corn growers ultimately receive are directly tied to rail costs, with up to one-third of wheat costs attributable to transportation expenses. The situation cannot be ignored. This is especially true when one considers growing concerns over rising food prices. Rail rates have a ripple effect that extends beyond commodities and throughout the entire rural community economy. Local retailers feel the impact of rising rail transport rates when they purchase fertilizer, seed, and other equipment. When these businesses cannot move and receive their products, it impairs the expansion of the local economy. Today, increasing costs of rail transportation is also having an enormous impact on affordable energy supplies. Coal is the primary source for electric generation in rural areas, and it is shipped across the country on the railways. Unreliable and expensive rail transportation will only lead to higher energy prices. With small businesses already seeing skyrocketing fuel costs, this transportation problem is creating another major challenge. At a time when there is major progress in rural areas with the development of renewable fuels, there must be infrastructure in place to support this growth. We need to welcome new opportunities for expanding our rural economies and assure viable shipping options are available at competitive rates. Clearly, the federal policy framework must be examined to ensure adequate competition. That is especially true when you consider the laws on the books regulating rail transportation were established at a point in our history when railroads were not financially viable. The nation's rural businesses have shown an ability to adapt and change with the development of new technologies. But to keep their products competitive in the domestic and global markets, transportation is key. In most instances, that means rail transportation. If such service is not available at a fair price, American farmers and small businesses will lose market share. Foreign competitors will more easily sell their products to U.S. customers, and our rural economy will suffer. I look forward to hearing about possible reforms to ensure the continued growth of small businesses in rural America. I appreciate the witnesses coming here today, and I thank you for taking time off your busy schedule. I yield to the ranking member, Mr. Chabot, for his opening statement.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you for holding this hearing today on rail transportation access for small businesses and family farmers. I also want to thank our witnesses for being here and taking the time out of their busy schedules to share their views with us on this important issue. Railroads have played a crucial role in the history and development of our nation and are one of the most important contributors to our economy today. They were critical to the development of the American West and have had some part in almost all stages of our nation's development, whether it was shipping steel used to build the Golden Gate Bridge, which was fabricated in New Jersey, or transporting the Indiana limestone and granite which composes the facade of the Empire State Building, Railroads have played a key role in creating the face of America and maintaining the health of our economy. Currently, more than 40% of our nation's freight is moved by rail. Many goods Americans depend on and use every day would never even make it into our homes if small businesses and family farmers could not ship them via rail. For example, coal, which is used to produce nearly half of the nation's electricity that lights American homes, is shipped by railroads. In 2006, there were 561 freight railroads operating in America with an aggregate revenue of $54 billion. Railroads, which contribute billions of dollars each year to the economy through wages and purchases, retirement benefits, and taxes, are vital to keeping America competitive in the world market. Freight railroads employed 186,000 people in 2006 and were one of America's highest-paying industries. America's small businesses and family farms depend on the rail system to safely and efficiently ship their goods to the American consumer. In the past few years, many of these family farmers and small businesses have voiced concern over the rising cost of access to these railroads. It is in the best interest of all Americans that we make sure small businesses and family farmers continue to have access to affordable transport on American rail. Once again, I want to thank Chairwoman Velázquez for holding this hearing and look forward to hearing testimony from all the witnesses here before us this morning, and I yield back the balance of my time.